Part 1. Origins in the Streets of San Francisco. Segment 1. In the gritty punk and skinhead scene of 1980s San Francisco, a new force emerged. Bob Hike, a local skinhead, watched leftist influence grow in the Haight-Ashbury district. Segment 2. By 1984, Hike founded the American Fronte EFA, loose white supremacist organization modeled after Britain's National Front, aiming to unite racist skinheads nationwide. Segment 3. Starting small, AF focused on anti-communist leaflets distributed on streets and in clubs, pushing nationalist views against rising punk radicalism. Segment 4. Hike formed the short-lived United White Brethren in the Bay Area, testing early recruitment among disaffected youth. Segment 5. Returning to San Francisco in 1987. Hike found a new generation of skinheads more open to explicit Nazism and white power ideology. Segment 6. AF began building a network, drawing in recruits from punk shows and street corners across California. Segment 7. The group's message hardened opposing multiculturalism, communism, and perceived threats to white identity in urban America. Segment 8. Leaflets and flyers spread quietly at first, building momentum in the shadows of the city's counterculture. Segment 9. By the late 1980s, AF positioned itself as a national player in the rising racist skinhead movement. Segment 10. Tension was brewing. Erica's streets would soon see AF step into the spotlight. Part 2. Alliance with White Aryan Resistance. Segment 11. In 1988, Bob Hike linked AF with Tom Metzger's White Aryan Resistance War, a prominent white supremacist outfit in Southern California. Segment 12. The partnership amplified AF's reach, providing resources, ideology, and media exposure for the growing skinhead network. Segment 13. On May 1, 1988, May Day AF staged its first White Workers' Day March down Haight Street in San Francisco. Segment 14. 65 skinheads marched unopposed, waving flags and chanting slogans against Marxism and for white labor rights. Segment 15. The event drew attention from far-right circles and local media, marking AFF's bold public debut. Segment 16. Metzger himself appeared with skinheads on local talk shows, debating critics and displaying defiance. Segment 17. AF units spread to 14 states by 1989, absorbing local crews and expanding influence eastward and northward. Segment 18. In May 1989, another march targeted San Francisco City Hall, escalating visibility and confrontation. Segment 19. Hike's group gained notoriety, blending skinhead culture with organized white supremacist activism. Segment 20. But national eyes were turning. Controversy was about to explode on live television. Part 3. The Geraldo Brawl and National Spotlight. Segment 21. November 1988 brought AF into America's living rooms, the infamous Geraldo Rivera Show Brawl. Segment 22. Skinheads, including some linked to AF and war, clashed on air with opponents during a heated debate on racism. Segment 23. Chairs flew. Punches landed. Rivera's nose was broken in the chaos broadcast nationwide. Segment 24. The incident shocked viewers and cemented the violent image of racist skinheads in public perception. Segment 25. AF gained recruits from the exposure as media labeled them part of a dangerous rising movement. Segment 26. Hike, known as Nazi Bob, became a recognizable figure in far-right circles. Segment 27. By 1990, AF claimed chapters across the country, from Florida to the Midwest. Segment 28. Internal growth continued, with leaders like Richard Myers rising in Florida units. Segment 29. The group absorbed rival crews, fueling blood feuds with anti-racist skinheads. Segment 30. Momentum built toward a major confrontation in the heart of San Francisco. Part 4. The 1990 Union Square announcement. Segment 31. In early 1990, Hike used AF's telephone hotline to announce a major event appearance in Union Square on the first Saturday in May. Segment 32. The hotline message ran for a month, rallying supporters and alerting opponents across the Bay Area. Segment 33. Counter-protesters planned ahead on May 1st. A large May Day demonstration opposed AF's ideology. Segment 34. On event day, Hike arrived with a small group of supporters, heading toward Union Square. Segment 35. 300 angry protesters greeted them, hurling debris as tensions boiled over. Segment 36. Police moved swiftly, encircling AF members to separate the groups and prevent full clash. Segment 37. Both AF and officers found themselves vastly outnumbered by the swelling countercrowd. Segment 38. Backup arrived patrol wagons rolled in, allowing police to extract Hike's group safely. Segment 39. No major injuries reported, but the standoff highlighted deep divisions in the city. Segment 40. The event faded from headlines, but AF's challenges were just beginning. Part 5. Relocation to Portland and doxing. Segment 41. After the clash, Hike shifted focus northward, moving AF operations to Portland, Oregon. Segment 42. In October 1990, the Coalition for Human Dignity published flyers with Hike's new home address. Press releases announced his arrival. Local TV crews swarmed his apartment days after he settled in. Segment 44. Media frenzy followed, with cameras capturing every move in the Pacific Northwest. Segment 45. Hike still received national TV invites, but many were for sensational trash TV shows. Segment 46. Appearances on Geraldo Rivera continued, keeping AF in the public eye. Segment 47. As mainstream interest waned, Hike turned to local activism and organizing. Segment 48. Portland's scene offered new recruits, but opposition remained fierce. Segment 49. AF revived its telephone hotline in the city, spreading messages to supporters. Segment 50. The group adapted, focusing on demonstrations and literature distribution. Why? PCA May Day in Portland. Segment A. In PCA, Y held its May Day demonstration in Portland, another White Workers' Day event. Segment 52. A large counter-protest gathered, outnumbering AF significantly on the streets. Segment 53. Tension filled the air, but this time no violence erupted. Police kept order. Segment 54. The peaceful standoff showed shifting dynamics for the group. Segment 55. Hike pushed forward with rallies, leaflets, and hotline updates. Segment 56. AF units in Washington and California began publishing the Voice of Revolution magazine. Segment 57. The publication tied loosely to England's Combat 18, spreading far-right ideas. Segment 58. Content opposed hate crime laws, claiming they targeted whites unfairly. Segment 59. AF targeted local figures like harassing Portland Commissioner Mike Lindbergh. Segment 60. Lindbergh called them gay-bashing skinheads in the press, fueling ongoing conflict. Part 7. Albany Unit and Local Focus. Segment 61. In Albany, Oregon. An AF unit held regular demonstrations in the early 1990s. Segment 62. Small but persistent. They marched and distributed materials in rural areas. Segment 63. The group emphasized opposition to perceived government overreach and cultural changes. Segment 64. Hotline remained active, connecting members across the Northwest. Segment 65. Media attention diminished as sensationalism faded. Segment 66. Hike focused on grassroots efforts rather than national TV spots. Segment 67. AF positioned itself against hate crime legislation expanding in the era. Segment 68. Demonstrations continued, but scale remained modest compared to earlier years. Segment 69. Internal shifts began as Hike considered stepping back. Segment 70. The group's peak visibility was passing into quieter activism. Part 8. Arrival at Ruby Ridge. Segment 71. In 1992, Hike and AF associates became the first out-of-state activists at Ruby Ridge. Segment 72. The standoff pitted Randy Weaver against federal agents in Idaho's remote wilderness. Segment 73. Hike blockaded a fuel truck, lambasting the driver for supporting the government. Segment 74. The incident tied AF to broader anti-federal sentiment sweeping the far right. Segment 75. Ruby Ridge symbolized resistance to perceived tyranny for many extremists. Segment 76. AF used the moment to recruit and spread literature on site. Segment 77. No direct violence from AF, but presence amplified their message. Segment 78. The standoff ended tragically, fueling militia and patriot movements nationwide. Segment 79. For AF, it marked a pivot toward broader alliances. Segment 80. Back in Portland, operations continued amid growing scrutiny. Part 9. Hotline Magazine and Harassment Campaigns. Segment 81. Portland's AF hotline stayed active, delivering recorded messages to callers. Segment 82. The Voice of Revolution featured articles on third positionism and anti-hate law fights. Segment 83. Ties to Combat 18 brought international far-right connections. Segment 84. AF harassed Commissioner Lindbergh relentlessly through protests and flyers. Segment 85. Lindbergh's public criticism kept the feud alive in local news. Segment 86. Albany demos persisted, showing regional strength. Segment 87. Hike maintained leadership, but fatigue set in after years of conflict. Segment 88. Media offers dried up trash TV lost interest. Segment 89. Focus narrowed to core supporters and local issues. Segment 90. The 1990s wore on, testing AF's endurance. Part 10. Hike's departure. Segment 91. By 1995, Bob Hike stepped away from leading AF after over a decade. Segment 92. He married, settled down, and reduced public activism. Segment 93. The hotline went silent in Portland following his exit. Segment 94. AF units scattered, some fading, others seeking new direction. Segment 95. Waning interest from press and recruits marked a decline. Segment 96. The group that once marched boldly now operated in shadows. Internal changes loomed as leadership transitioned. Segment 98. James Perazzo emerged to revive the organization. Segment 99. Perazzo relocated headquarters to Harrison, Arkansas. Segment 100. A new chapter began under fresh ideological influences. Part 11. Resurgence under Perazzo. Segment 101. Perazzo promoted third positionism, anti-capitalism, and anti-communism. Briefly resurfaced with renewed energy and recruitment. Segment 103. Alliances formed with other skinhead crews, like Heimerskins. The group attempted to modernize outreach and ideology. Segment 105. Publications pushed eclectic far-right views beyond traditional Nazism. Activities included demonstrations and online presence in later years. Segment 107. But infighting and legal pressures challenged stability. Segment 108. Perazzo's leadership marked AF's evolution from pure skinhead roots. Segment 109. The organization persisted in various forms through the SHLs. Segment 110. Legacy of early confrontations lingered in far-right history. Part 12. Legacy and Aftermath. Segment 111. From San Francisco streets to Ruby Ridge, AF embodied 1980s-90s racist skinhead rise. Segment 112. Bob Hike's vision created one of America's first national skinhead networks. Segment 113. Clashes, media storms, and relocations defined its turbulent path. Segment 114. Decline followed waning attention and leadership changes. Segment 115. AF's story reflects broader far-right shifts in late 20th century America. Segment 116. Confrontations highlighted deep societal divisions over race and identity. Segment 117. Groups like AF influenced later extremist movements and responses. Segment 118. Today, echoes remain in ongoing debates about extremism. Segment 119. The American Front's journey from bold marches to quiet fade serves as a historical cautionary tale. Segment 120. In the end, history remembers the streets where it all began, the forces that tried to reshape a nation.